What's going on, guys? Today I'm showing you how I mix my beats. I got a request to make one of these videos, so don't forget, if you've got any questions or any videos you want me to make, just leave it in the comments below or DM me on Instagram, and I'll be sure to try and make it. So yeah, I'm gonna show you how I mix my beats. I'm not a professional, I just do it how I do it. It works for me, doesn't mean it's gonna work for you, for your type. So this is the first beat right here, more like of an emotional beat. I'll leave beats in the description so you can go listen to the full end result after. I'm just gonna start off, just play a bit, and then you'll see what it is. Yeah, so I have one rule that I usually stick with, and that's just at the start. When I start making the beat, I usually mix it pretty low. I do it with speakers at the start, but I'll go over it with headphones again, and I might change it because it sounds different depending where you do it. What I'll try and do is on the master, when I'm first mixing it, I want to keep each sound around 12, but that's not for each and everyone, so I'm already breaking the rule there. For example, the 808s and the kicks, I'll usually mix them quite a bit louder, so I'll go up to 6 or 3 with the 808s and the kicks, because I just want them to hit harder, because that's how I like making my beats. So what I'm going to do now is quickly just play the hi-hats, the clap, and all the other sounds except the 808 and the kick, just to make you see what I mean with that. So as you can see, it's all a bit over, because what I usually do at the end of a beat is I'll press Control, and then you press and then you just drag across here, and I'll usually pull up my beats, because the way I mix my beats, they will end up pretty quiet. So what I'll do is, yeah, like I said, Control, drag across, and then I'll just bring it up. That way it will just sound way louder and not so quiet. So you also see I'm stacking. Part of mixing beats is just getting the right selections and like stacking like claps on snares and stuff like that. Also, I mean, what every tutorial on YouTube says is just do it by ear. So if it doesn't sound good, you can obviously, you know, mess with it. You can go over 12 or below 12. So that's important. Just, you know, doing it by ear, just see what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. Another important thing is when you have a sample, for example, piano here. If you want your 808 to hit properly, you're gonna have to cut out the lows. If you don't cut out the lows, it will just interfere with the 808, and your 808 won't have space to hit, because trust me, it makes a difference. Then like I said, my kick and my 808, I'll put them both over because I like them to hit hard. So as you can see here, my kick's hitting right around here, and my 808 is hitting over 6. You know, it's like I said, I like to make them hit hard, so that's why they're way harder than everything else. What I also like to do on the master, I'll put on a soft clipper so that nothing clips. You know, you don't want anything to really clip, so you want to keep the soft clipper on there. But to make your 808s hit, I'll turn off the limiter, because the limiter that's usually on there as a default for everybody, it will usually make your 808s hit less hard. So if you want your 808s to hit hard, then you're gonna have to take off the limiter. That's what I would do, you know. Then what else I put on each sound, it varies. Sometimes I'll put nothing. Like on the kick, I don't have anything, I'll just mess with the volume. On the clap, I also don't have anything on there. The hi-hats, I'll sometimes cut out the lows because they're just kind of getting in the way, but that you definitely don't have to do that, it just depends. Here on my snare, I cut out some of the lows again with the EQ. Maybe it was getting in the way of something. Like I said, the sample here, we got the EQ on there, some reverb. When you got a sample, usually what I do is you're gonna put some reverb on there, because if you don't, it would just sound probably too dry. And also, if you like make it cut out, like nothing will cut out. So say for example, the end of the beat, let's just say you want to let it play out like this, so you want it to be done here. If you don't put any reverb on there and you just let it play the end, imagine I didn't have any reverb on there, it would just abruptly end, and that just doesn't make it sound as good. So always just, what I do is usually just put a tiny bit of reverb on there as well, just so, you know, give it a bit more sauce, you know. Sometimes I'll put some reverb on my hi-hats as well, but not always. But if I do, don't put too much on there, because otherwise it will just sound like a bit too crazy. Then yeah, here on number 11, we have the 808s. Nothing, I have nothing on there as well. Like I said, what I use is boosted 808. I have a video on how to make that, how to make those 808s. You can go check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description, how I make my 808 sound like that. But yeah, there I just mess with the volume as well. And then these 12, 13, and 14 are just different perks and open hats and stuff like that. where I'll usually just, that really depends on what sample you're using, because using good sounds will probably make the best beats. You can't just use a bad sound and make it good. Well, you can, but you know, it's just harder. So make a good sound selection, and then your beats will already sound 10 times better. Yeah, for my perks, open hats and all that, I'll use the EQ, sometimes a reverb, sometimes I'll get random effects on there, because it really depends like where you're going for there. And there I don't always follow the rule of keeping it around 12. So as you see, that keeping it around 12 is just like a simple rule that I don't really follow, because it's just like I do it but I don't do it at the same time. So it's just like, that's what I start off with, and if it's not sounding right, then I'll mess with it. But I'll start off with keeping it at -12, just 12, -12, I don't know, it's just 12 here. And for using kicks and 808s together, some people sidechain it. I don't sidechain my 808 to the kick. I don't think it works. I don't think it hits as good like that. But, I mean, that's up to you. Some people think that sounds better. I mean, I guess there are some beats where it does sound better, but I just wouldn't do that. And then if your 808s are really high up, it's really hard to find a good kick. So sometimes just don't add a kick at all, because sometimes adding a kick just messes it up. So I wouldn't do that either. What I also do is I don't really mess with this one. I'd rather just take all the sounds and just turn them up, because sometimes that will just make it sound a bit too crazy if you turn it up here as well on the master. I don't know. You can decide that. So yeah, that's how I do it. Not sure if that helped you, but if it did, leave a like, and also leave a comment if you want to see anything else that I do, any beat that you find on my main channel that you want me to explain how I made that beat. Let me know. Subscribe, and peace.